you a directive of what the United States independence was, with some tweaking. But this is what they used as their guidelines. So the men worked diligently for the next 17 days. Sam Houston was here and signed the, what was one of the signers, and then he moved on west to see if he could pick up his friend Santa Ana. These men worked day and night. They feared for their life. Conditions were not good, but they knew they had a job to do, and they stuck with it. William Travis, who at the time was at the Alamo, wrote some letters and said, please, we need a new nation, our independence is important, etc., please stick with it. But little did they know that when they read his letters, he had already been killed at the Alamo. They did not get the message that the Alamo had been sieged until a few days later. You hear about the runaway scrape after they got their project worked on. They had hired Barnett, who was appointed, who was the first president, and then Houston and Lanier and Houston and Jones were elected later on. For the next 10 years, this area stayed as for the Tropic of Texas. The offices were here at 2 different times, then 2 different times they were in Austin, then finally they remained here till the end of the Republic in 1846 when the state when Texas was annexed to the state. Again, these men took off after their job was done. For parts unknown, they went to Louisiana, Arkansas, whatever. And when Sam Houston came back through, these men were gone, but little by little they started coming back. 54 of the 59 signers returned back and finished their job. They were prepared to handwrite the Declaration of Independence. This is a sort of a replica of what their lighting was like, that candle area. And then they would write the Declaration with a quill pen. They needed to handwrite 5 copies of the Declaration. There is only 1 copy in existence today, and that's in the archives in Austin. And about 4 years ago, we had it here in the museum during one of our Independence Weekend celebrations. And it was under armed guard 24/7 with the Texas Rangers. And we had people lined out to the highway waiting to get in to see the Declaration. A little bit of the signers. There were 59 of them. The oldest was 50. The youngest was in his 20s. These were educated men. These were men of wealth. They were able to leave their things behind and spend some time here. 22 of them were Masons. 20 of them were married. And 10 of them came from Virginia. And 24 counties in the state of Texas have been named after these gentlemen. So you can see how important that their role was. The town kept growing. The counselor of the Congress sometimes would meet here, would meet above the mercantile store. Their crop was cotton. They were able to get it down to the Brazos, or down to the Gulf, as well as to New York and Boston. So they were able to get their goods back and forth from the steamships. Things were going well for them. All of a sudden, in 1858, the Texas Central Railroad wanted to come through. For $11,000, they could bring the railroad in. It wasn't the issue of the $11,000, it was the issue they didn't need it. And that Washington, along with other small towns at that time, all did the same thing. They thought their steamships were dependable. If the water was up, they could get their ships in. We were about 250 feet above sea level, so they went and came as far as Washington or the river overview, and then were able to turn down. So this is where it was kind of like their stopping point. If you walk down on Ferry Street, which this was here, you can see the river overview. It's just over the hill, about a 5-minute walk.